Runnin' with the Dweezil is sponsored by Walrus Audio. I'm Dweezil Zappa. On my own musical journey, I've had two mentors. One of them was my dad, and the other was Edward Van Halen. The impact Edward Van Halen made on music is enormous, and I find it fascinating to learn how top guitarists were affected and influenced by his playing. Every episode in this series will reveal something different about Van Halen's music. I'll be taking you on a song-by-song discovery of the nuances in the music that literally change people's lives. Put on your shoes. It's time to start running. Hi everybody, I'm Dweezil Zappa, and today my guest is Greg Howe. Hi Greg, welcome.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Let's talk a little bit for a second about what the swing feel actually is, because I know we have some people that listen to this podcast that really love Van Halen music, but they don't necessarily play guitar.
Right.
Or maybe they're not even a musician in general. They just like the music. And sometimes when we talk about something like a swing feel, that might not be clear to everybody who's listening. And the other distinction here is that when I've heard Edward talk about that kind of element in his playing, he refers to it as playing a boogie.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I think the intent there, though, is like with a boogie or something that's a swing feel thing, you want the listener to feel something and want them to move with the rhythm, which is very different than something that's really straight, like a march or something like that.
That's exactly
right.
I mean, for me, Eddie Van Halen, honestly, was the king of swing when it comes to rock guitar players. I don't know that I've heard a rock guitarist swing as hard as he did. And it was natural. The fact that he didn't even know that he was actually doing that and he just calls it boogie in a weird way just goes to show you that it was kind of just in him. He didn't really, it was just a natural thing. He was 22 years old or 21 or 23 or something when they did that first album. And he had that already, which is really pretty astounding because I work with a lot of young players and a lot of guys with great chops, but it's not as common to find guys that can really swing like that. Especially in a metal, an aggressive rock band. Yeah, he had that. I mean, if you listen to I'm the One, I've seen a lot of rock bands play things like, they'll play that song and they're going, that's like a Black Sabbath theme where if you, when you slow down that, he's going. So even when it speeds up, he still has it's a gallop, right? So if I go, that just feels like notes going down the steps. But if I go, if I had a line that went something like this for the listeners, if you heard this, I think you would be able to hear the difference between that and. So it's a feel that's hard to describe. I mean, it's really, it's a sustaining through two triplets, technically, right? Yeah. But we just feel it. And I think a lot of people feel it. You know, we went through the whole hip hop world was based on that. The whole thing was everything was swung, everything. So it's a fantastic feel. And to me, it's, I have a song called Jumpstart that's one of my on one of my earlier albums, and it has a tricky line in it that goes. So I played around this tune. And what's cool about that line for me is that there's so much intervallic interplay and there's so much displacement, meaning accented notes that aren't on the downbeat, that it creates the perception, an auditory perception of swinging, even if I'm not. So even if I can't, if I'm just, it's a hangover, it's first thing in the morning, I can't swing, that lines like that, sometimes the design of a line or the contour of the line or the way the notes interact with each other can help the feel of swing. But when Eddie would swing, it's really swing, like he's really swinging. I remember being a kid and practicing just the opening, that pickup.
Yep.
And just that alone was challenging. And yet when you hear him do it as a young guy, you can tell that he's not trying to do it. It's just in him. It's just like, it's easier. It almost feels like it's easier for him to do that than not to.
Well, I agree. And the funny thing, though, is all of what you're talking about, it really also depends on the degree in which the musicians that you're playing with can also ride that same wave.
Right.
Because somebody could be swinging when other people aren't. And that's a sound. It may not be the best sound for the thing, but it's a sound.
Right.
And it's kind of similar to what you were talking about, where like if you played straight to a metronome and you played that line that was contoured that you were talking about from Jumpstart, you could still get the perception that there was something happening in between the cracks.
Yes.
It's about the variance in the contour and the dynamics of the stuff.
Exactly.
But if you get musicians that can really swing together, then the whole thing is about, okay, how can we make people feel? How can we get this thing to move like its own organism?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's where they were really anomalies in the world of rock, because Alex and Edward together, they made that swing happen. And Michael Anthony had to actually become the foundation and be the guy that kept the straight thing happening.
Yes, that was his role. He was the glue. He was the middle point, right? That kept it all working together. Yeah.
If you're looking for character, space, and mood, the Juliana Deluxe Chorus Vibrato and the Mako D1 Series High Fidelity Echo Machine from Walrus Audio are for you. Running with the Dweezil is found exclusively at dweezilzappa.com, a reward music-powered artist site. With 30 episodes and over 50 hours of commentary and conversation, keep listening each week to hear more on Running with the Dweezil.